Bonjour! Bonjour! Ah!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another review. This time we're going to be taking a look at Punch-Out for the Nintendo Wii. And this review is actually dedicated to Tim Magana on the site because yesterday he essentially told me that there's no skill required for this game, all you gotta do is button mash. And I wanted to show him that that's actually impossible. So let's just jump right on in. Punch-Out was developed by Vancouver-based Next Level Games, and it's sort of like almost like a reboot of the franchise, if you will. All there was the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, then they simply omitted Mike Tyson after that whole scandal back in the, the early 90s, late 80s, something like that. And anyways, whatever, then they followed up the original Punch-Out with Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo, and then that's it. The series remained dormant for years and years and years. So it's really nice to see Punch-Out back in the spotlight. And once again, players take on the role of Little Mac and Doc's your trainer again. And you basically go through 3 different circuits. You've got the minor circuit, and the major, and then the world circuit. And each one's composed of 4 different fighters, except for the last one where you go up against like the grand champion, the heavyweight champion of the world. And first thing you'll notice is that the visuals are extremely sharp. They look really good. The cel-shaded graphics go really well with the basically the look and feel of the game. And I love how the fighters that you go up against tower over Little Mac, just like in the original. And also, I especially like the fact that you actually see bodily damage on the characters' faces, on their stomachs, and things like that as you go to beat them, which I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really subtle, nice touch. Now, first things first, this is not a realistic fighter, okay? This is an arcade fighter at its best. What it requires is quick reflexes and memorization, which basically comes down to skill. You only have a couple of different movements you can do. You can dodge either left or right. You can duck down under a punch, or you can put your mitts in front of your face and block a incoming punch. Then you can jab with either to the left or to the right, and then you can punch to the give like an uppercut to the face. And of course, you have your special move, which is like a super uppercut. And that's all she wrote. The best way to play this game, in my opinion, is not with any of the motion controls, although you do have those options. There's also a balance board and all that kind of jazz. To me, the best way is hold the Wiimote like an NES control pad and just go to town. It has the exact same controls as the original NES game. The difference being that in this one, it's much, much more skill-based in the sense that in the original NES one, anytime one of the fighters would like go to punch you, you could always dodge in the exact same way, either left or right. You could just pick a side and stick with it. But if you do that in this one, as you'll see in the video, because I purposely try to show you guys exactly what happens if you button mash, just for you, Tim. But anyways, yeah, what'll happen is you'll actually get hit, and especially as you go through the different circuits, eventually you have to be spot on and absolutely perfect. Now, the thing is, first time you go through the game, it's kind of a pushover, to be really honest with you. It's not hard at all, but this is where the game gets kind of cool. After you beat the game, the rest of the world's fighters are shocked that Little Mac was able to become the new champion. So what happens is they challenge him again, and this time they all have different safeguards. So like King Hippo, he'll actually have a metal plate over his stomach, and you have to, figure out, you have to change your strategies basically to go against him. Same thing like with Glass Joe. What'll happen now is he'll actually have a fighter's like a protective helmet on, so that when you hit him, it barely hurts him whatsoever. And I thought that was really creative and really unique way of going about the game to sort of like prolong it a bit. One of the only disappointments that I had with Punch-Out is the fact that there isn't really many new characters. Virtually all the characters from the NES version are in this one. There's a couple of fighters from the Super Nintendo Super Punch-Out, and I think there's like 1 or 2 new additions, but that's it. And that's a little bit disappointing, but for the most part, I was never good at Punch-Out, and just coming like into this game, I had so much fun with this. You guys have no idea. So really it changed my my sort of outlook on the Wii as a whole, because for the longest time Nintendo was pushing all these motion controls, and to go back and play one of these earlier Wii games that don't feature any motion controls whatsoever, I must admit that you really sort of see just how fun some Nintendo games can really be, and that's the main thing. I just had an absolute blast with this. Now, outside the main campaign mode, there's an exhibition mode, which is really cool, because this one, it basically challenges you to defeat each fighter in new ways, like, for example, or challenging ways. Like Glass Joe might be knock him down 2 times and then let him win by a decision after 3 rounds. In other words, you're just going to be dodging like crazy. Then there'll be other ones where it'll be like, take down this fighter with, say, 3 punches, and you really have to master the game. There's even a 2-player local mode, which is really cute. Basically, there's split screen, and the 2 little Macs go head to head against each other, and when one of them lands enough punches, it becomes Giga Mac, and then the camera goes to the traditional punch out screen, and you can just rip into each other, and it's really, really cool. Honestly, I was shocked how much fun. Like I said, I could just say this over and over again. If you're looking for a really fun game to play that plays exactly like the NES one, except obviously it's fleshed out, it's evolved, then by all means go ahead and give Punch-Out for the Wii a purchase. It costs very little. I picked mine up for, my goodness, I think it was $8 brand new, and this is the non-selects version from eBay. But even if you find it with the selects version, who cares? Basically, this is the type of game that if you consider yourself a hardcore gamer and you're just looking for a great game to pick up with a couple of buddies that you can pass the remote along and everyone will just have a really good time, Punch-Out should be your go-to game. It has just entered my top 5 Wii games ever made. I absolutely cannot recommend it enough. So there you go, Tim. This is not a button masher. This is a reflex twitch fighter, and it's awesome. I hope everyone's enjoyed, and remember to keep it locked to ProjectCoe.com for all the latest news, reviews, and special features. Thanks for watching.
Knockout!